They say the most dangerous prison is not built with walls or iron bars. It is built in the mind. Every day, millions of people sit trapped inside this invisible cage, their thoughts spinning endlessly like a storm they cannot escape. A single mistake, a single memory, a single worry grows into a giant monster, replaying again and again until the heart grows heavy and the mind restless. Overthinking. It is the thief of peace, the destroyer of confidence, the silent weight that keeps people awake long after the world has fallen asleep. But what if there was a way out? What if there was a path, not to silence the mind completely, but to understand it, master it, and finally step free from the endless cycle of thought? This is the story of a young traveler who sought freedom from his restless mind. His journey would take him across mountains, forests, rivers, and deserts until he discovered a truth hidden not in the noise of the world, but in its silence. The young traveler had always been restless. Every decision felt like a battlefield. Every mistake replayed endlessly in his head. His nights were long, his mornings heavy, and his days filled with doubt. He wanted peace. But peace was always far away, drowned under the roar of endless thought. One evening, unable to bear the weight any longer, he packed his few belongings and set out on a journey. Somewhere deep inside, he believed that if he searched long enough, he would find an answer. He wandered through crowded cities where people hurried with busy faces, each lost in their own thoughts. He climbed hills where the wind howled and silence stretched endlessly. But no matter where he went, his thoughts followed. They clung to him like shadows, whispering fears, reminding him of regrets, warning him of dangers that never came. Weeks passed. His body grew tired, but his mind remained trapped. And then, one night, he reached a mountain village where the stars hung low and bright, and the world seemed slower, quieter. There, he heard whispers about a Zen master who lived beyond the valley, a man of such calm presence that even the wild animals of the forest walked gently in his presence. The traveler felt a spark of hope. Perhaps this master knew the secret. So he set out once more, crossing rivers that shimmered like silver in the moonlight, walking narrow paths carved into the side of cliffs, pushing through dark forests where every sound made his heart race. Finally, after days of travel, he arrived at a small wooden temple hidden among pine trees. The temple was simple. A single lantern glowed by the entrance, and the sound of flowing water echoed nearby. The air was still, almost sacred, and there, sitting quietly on the wooden steps, was the Zen master. His posture was straight, his face calm, his eyes half closed as if listening to something deeper than the world outside. The traveler bowed, then sat in silence, waiting. Hours passed. The master said nothing. He simply breathed, present, unmoved. At first, the traveler grew restless. His mind screamed, "Why isn't he speaking? Doesn't he know why I'm here?" The thoughts rushed like a river, faster and faster until he nearly stood up and left. But then something strange happened. In his frustration, he noticed the sound of his own breath. He noticed the rustling of the trees, the chirping of crickets, the coolness of the stone floor beneath him. For a brief moment, he was not lost in thought. He was simply there. It lasted only seconds before another thought storm arrived, but the moment was enough. He realized something powerful. The master was teaching without speaking. Day after day, the traveler returned. He sat near the master, waiting, watching, breathing. No lectures, no scriptures, no advice, only silence. And slowly, the silence began to change him. At first, his thoughts attacked him like waves crashing against rocks. Every regret, every fear, every insecurity shouted inside his head. He wanted to run, but the master remained still, unshaken, as if showing him that storms do not last forever. And soon, the traveler began to notice patterns. His thoughts always came, but they also always left. Like clouds drifting across the sky, they passed on their own. He realized the prison was not the thoughts themselves, but his attachment to them. He had been grabbing each thought, holding it, turning it over again and again, giving it life long after it should have faded.
One evening, as he sat by the flowing stream near the temple, he finally understood. Thoughts are like water. If you try to hold them, they slip through your fingers. If you try to fight them, they crush you. But if you let them flow, they move on naturally. That night, he slept peacefully for the first time in years. The days turned into weeks, and the young traveler grew calmer. His mind was still loud at times, but he no longer feared it. He no longer chased every thought. He watched them come, he watched them go, and he discovered that behind the noise of his mind, there was something constant, something still, like the sky that remains untouched no matter how many clouds pass. The Zen master never spoke, yet his presence revealed everything. And one morning, as the traveler sat in meditation, he realized the greatest secret. Peace is not found by forcing the mind to be quiet. Peace is found by seeing the mind clearly, by understanding that you are not your thoughts, but the awareness that watches them. The traveler's journey was complete. He bowed deeply before the master, gratitude shining in his eyes. The master only nodded, his silence deeper than any words. And so, the traveler left the temple. But this time, he carried no restless mind with him. The thoughts still came, but they no longer ruled him. He walked through forests, and the sound of birds filled him with joy. He crossed rivers, and the water reflected the calm he felt inside. He returned to the world, but the storm of overthinking had lost its power. Because he had discovered the truth. Overthinking is not solved by answers, but by awareness. It is not about silencing every thought, but about realizing you are more than your thoughts. When fear whispers, let it pass. When regret screams, let it fade. When doubt rises, let it go. For none of them define you. What defines you is the stillness beneath it all, the place inside untouched by chaos, untouched by noise, untouched by thought. And that is the secret to inner peace and mental strength. So tonight, when you lie in bed and your mind begins to race, remember the traveler, remember the silence of the Zen master. Do not fight your thoughts, do not chase them, do not fear them. Just watch them. And in that watching, you will find a strength greater than overthinking, greater than fear, greater than doubt. You will find yourself. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who is struggling in silence. Comment below, what thoughts are you finally ready to let go of? Subscribe to Life Lessons Library for more powerful stories that bring peace, strength, and wisdom to your life. Because the truth is simple, overthinking will steal your peace, unless you learn to let go. And when you do, you will discover that the peace you were searching for was within you all along.